please go record your thoughts on Monica's podcast, where it will last in the official record far longer than anything you might say on the floor. Thank you. I hear there's also other press floating around here. Now This, Washington Post, Al Jazeera, perhaps some random Twitter accounts with a few dozen followers, someone who used to be a political reporter for Puff Daddy's network, Revolt TV, and also Terry Zuplot is here writing about this. Thanks, Obama. So feel free to share your thoughts with them as well. So here's how tonight will go. In a moment, we will watch the debate. Please do not yell at the screen. I will gavel you down if you yell at the screen. Flag down your whips, who will be rotating around the room, and tell them what you'd like to say. During the 2 3-minute commercial breaks, we will take a few rounds of reactions, and you will be asked to make quick remarks of roughly 30 seconds or so please be concise, or again, I will gavel you down. Then after the debate is over, we will stick around for a longer session taking similar reactions, and we will incorporate as many voices as we can into this conversation. To get in line to make a remark, you must do 2 things. First, you must tell a whip you're interested and briefly tell them what you'd like to say. And then, when I ask for remarks, raise your hand so I can see you. I will call on you from the front, and a whip will bring you the microphone. There is a list of prompts on the sheets in front of you, and you should be thinking about those prompts as you consider the remarks you will be making. There will be no questions for individual speakers. When you speak, please speak your thoughts, your concerns, your questions, your fears, and your hopes directly to me and not to anybody else in the room. And with that, there is only one last rule, and that rule is our code of honor, the Braver Angels way. It's on those sheets in front of you, and read it with me, everybody, from those sheets. We state our views freely and without fear. We treat people who disagree with us with honesty, dignity, and respect. We welcome opportunities to engage those with whom we disagree. We believe that all of us have blind spots, and none of us are not worth talking to. We seek to disagree accurately, avoiding exaggeration and stereotypes. We look for common ground where it exists, and, if possible, find ways to work together. We believe that in disagreements, both sides share and learn. In Braver Angels, neither side is teaching the other or giving feedback on how to think or say things differently. And that is the Braver Angels way. Everybody? We got less than 1 minute till the debate starts. Let's turn the sound on the TV. And everybody, let's sit back and watch. Turn off our mics, please.
In America right now. If one of them can at least give a spark of that, maybe you change things.
This is actually, I think, the other problem for both men. Neither of them are great visionaries about, painting a picture of what is the country supposed to be. And it's hard for them because they both are not the most articulate men in the world. I don't know how that's going to play out tonight.
We'll see tonight. I want to thank everybody here on the panel. The preliminaries are over. The main event is here. We'll be back with complete coverage and analysis later tonight. And with that, let's turn things over to CNN's Jake Tapper and also CNN's Dana Bash for this first presidential debate of 2024 campaign.
Howdy, everybody. Well, I have many questions myself about that format. This is not quite what I expected. But I'd like to go to a couple of immediate responses and immediate comments from some folks. Ian, I believe there was somebody in the rafters up there who had a quick remark. But those who are interested in giving a quick comment, please raise your hands and I will start calling on y'all. Ian, is there somebody up there?
Got you on the second floor here on your left.
Great. Please give your thoughts for about 30 seconds.
Sure. My name is Carson Brunn. I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It seems like these two strapping young gentlemen are playing the biggest game of Know You that I've seen in quite a long time. It seems like this is what happens, and this is maybe a Gen Z perspective, but this seems to be what happens whenever you spend a long time stripping away a shared sense of reality that both candidates have, and now they're just going back and forth saying that everything both of them said was a lie. And it doesn't seem like this is going to change anybody's mind. I mean, everyone in here is kind of laughing at this. It's like we're watching like a comedy show.
It is a kind of ping pong. Let's go to another one. I saw a hand in the back. Elizabeth, was there a hand in the back I was seeing? Was there one there? Bring the mic over to them, please. Yes.
I've got one over here.
Oh yeah, I'll go over here. Yes. Nice catch. Yes, ma'am. Take about 30 seconds.
My name's Corey Zeck, and as a blue, I have been cringing the entire time I've been watching this. To the point where just listening to Biden talk and responding, he's really not responding, in my opinion. Trump's wiping the floor with him in this debate, if you want my honest opinion, and it's to the point watching this where I'm considering flipping my vote, like, for me, because I'm listening to Trump respond to this and he's doing the same thing he always does, where he doesn't really answer the question that's being asked until like the very last second, but he's convincing me, and that's taken a lot, because I've never really been a Trump supporter, but.
Hey, thank you for sharing that, and thank you for saying that on the floor here. It's really, really interesting to watch people change their views in public, and I appreciate you sharing that with us all here. Let's go to another one. Let me think. Beth has a point. Which of you has Beth? Bring the microphone over to her.
I'm getting to Beth.
Thank you, Elizabeth. I appreciate you. Hi, Beth.
I really hesitate doing this. I'm very purple. I am definitely a Biden supporter in this case, but I am disgusted by both. I can't stand the lies. I am sitting here cringing, absolutely cringing. And on the other hand, I hear Biden just kind of muffling. I don't think he's ever been a good speaker. I feel as though he is not very verbose or able to express himself. And I'm cringing at both. And I feel sad, I hate to say it for all of us, that this is what we have to vote for.
Well, thank you for being here at Braver Angels and help us think through all of it. I saw there was a hand over here on the right.
With more from the CNN presidential debate, live from Georgia.
I feel so lame. You guys all laughed at Donald Trump and Joe Biden a lot more than you've laughed at me so far. And I'm sorry I'm so boring. Anyways, let's go to Gary Holland up in the back. I heard you have an interesting comment to make. Gary?
Yeah, we got him up here.
You got 30 seconds.
I would just like to caution everyone who's listening, if you're concerned because you're hearing that the different speakers, the two candidates, they aren't coming through very clearly, they sound muddled, etc. I was listening to this live stream on my earbuds, just to get a comparison, and I think we're getting a lot of echo, because this is a very large space. So I would encourage those of you that are making decisions based upon the quality of what you're hearing to take the time to listen to the recording separately in a good condition where you can hear the words crisply, because they are being broadcast clearly. We're just not hearing it as clear as the reality. Just take caution.
I feel like everyone who voted for Nixon in 1960 might agree with you on that, so thank you for that. Let's go over to Brent Morden. Brent, you got a thought on all this?
Hi, everyone. Yes, I'm Brent. I'm a Red. As somebody who works in show business, I must say this is very entertaining television. There's a saying, politics is theater, and I think Trump is really performing very well. He's speaking clearly, he's answering with coherent responses, and I think he's coming across quite relatable. I want to highlight a really interesting moment in this debate, possibly a moment of common ground. When Trump was responding to the question about abortion, he acknowledged that there are differing perspectives on it, that there are states that are pursuing more liberal policies, and he said that he believes in the exceptions, and Joe Biden even highlighted that he doesn't believe in late-term abortion, and I think that shows all of us that there is some common ground on this issue, and that the conversation is shifting more in a place of common ground.
Well, there we have it.
I'd love to see more of it.
That's not what I expected here either, but thank you for pointing it out to all of us. Let's go over to Rich. Rich, are you here? Rich, I heard you went a different direction. Rich, yeah.
Yes, hi everyone. Rich, I'm a YOLO registered independent from Florida. I am an ex-MAGA American. I did everything in my power to get former President Trump elected and reelected. But despite some differences with President Biden, particularly in his style, I am going to support him in November. I think that this moment in our history requires unlikely but necessary democratic, lowercase d, alliances. And if I could just paraphrase my cousin Vinny, for Braver Angels youths, please consider running for office because our politics need to get younger. Thank you.
You hear that, John? Hey, looks like we're about to go back into the commercial break, but or out of the commercial break. I want to remind you, Monica Guzman is taking things for a braver way out in the back. Go find her. Thanks for being here, Monty. And everybody else, I am really heartened by the amount of laughter I am hearing by both Reds and Blues all throughout this. This is not at all what I expected, but it's really nice to see. Looks like the TV is back on. Turn us all off, turn the lights off. Let's finish out this debate. Stay with us because we have full analysis on this debate in the form of this new Braver Angels programming I guess we're piloting here. Also, I guess this was the next track in the second greatest personal conflict in American life here, right after Kendrick Lamar and Drake's rap beef. So, and perhaps they'll make music out of this one too. All right, I want to hear a lot more remarks. We have a while, and I want to hear what a lot of you say. Also, let's turn on all the lights, please, as long as we're no longer going to be watching the TV so I can see more people. Let's go first to Sleeves. Sleeves from Gangsta Grass. You're here, right? Yeah. Sleeves?
Hey.
Hey, Sleeves.
I'm Sleeves from Gangsta Grass, and I'm a yellow. What up, my fellow yellows? The things that I noticed were just a lot of blanket statements, which, we'd like to have, I think all of us here would like to have a little more nuance. So things like worst president in history and, everybody trust us and most admired country in the world. And we had the cleanest water, which there was a great laughter for. So we'd like to see more nuance and a lot of just straight up falsehoods. Nobody's killing babies after they're born, that sort of thing. But the one true thing that I heard was that people are angry. And I think we've all seen that the reason that people are angry is because we're getting riled up. We're being told to be angry. We're being told to be fearful by these exact politicians and political parties and by the infotainment networks that have found that they make a lot of money by making us angry and fearful. So,
Sleeves, thank you for that. Thank you for that. Hey, I'd like to ask the folks doing logistics if we can turn on the lights so we can see all of our friends out here and we can see who is speaking. That would be helpful for the remainder of this event. Thank you. Is Anne Bradeen still here? Anne, you had a comment that I thought was interesting. Anne. Good to see you in person, by the way. I've seen you on Zoom a lot, but it's nice to see you here.
And can you please stand when you address the chair?
Thank you, Madam Chair.
My name is Ann. I wish they'd had Braver Angels moderators there in that last bit because that was ridiculous. Neither one of them answered a lot of very important questions. I felt like they kind of let them get into that back and forth that nobody likes or wants. And I can't remember.
Thank you for,
Anyway.
Yeah.
One thing I heard Trump say that he had offered help, that he could, on January 6th, that he could see that things were getting out of hand and that he had offered help. And I had never heard that. I don't know whether I'm the only one or not that had never heard that. And so I appreciated that. To me, that kind of showed that, there is a lot of stuff that maybe I didn't really even know.
Let's all watch the news over the next couple days, because that might be a helpful bit of context. Is Claudia upstairs? Claudia?
Yep, Claudia's here.
Claudia, the floor is yours.
Thank you. I think the constant question that I had in my mind this entire debate was, what's in my control? I kept looking to people around me and checking my phone, and I was actually finding a lot of comfort in the fact that I wasn't the only one feeling just deep, deep panic. And I think that just gave me a good sense of where we can go from here. And I'm still having some moments of anxiety and just where do we go from here. But I really appreciate that I was able to watch this in a setting that we are in right now, because we are in a space, right, where regardless of our differences, we decided to show up when we didn't have to. And we are in a space that has been built on faith, whether spiritual, theological, but I find so much hope and power that, you know, at the end of the day, I'm gonna go home, and the people that are affecting my day-to-day policies in life are the elected and appointed officials that are my neighbors. I don't know these men personally, and I might not never know them, but I was trying to find the semblance, right, in what Monica said in her opening, right? The thing that, what was it? Hope has wings. Hope is a thing with feathers, and I wanted to add that point, because I definitely am in a space where I have to go back and ruminate on all these things, and I'll probably have more like moments of panic and fear, but I just wanted to root myself, at least in this moment, where I know that I'm gonna be able to go back home and at least be able to be surrounded by people that.
Well, don't go home too soon. There's still another couple days of convention.
There you go. Exactly. We're all here together. So again, just that's where my thoughts are right now.
But thank you for sharing your hope with us. Yang, I'm only going to call on you if you promise to write something about this convention in Unheard magazine. Is that good? Sure. Cool. Great. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Hi, my name is Yang, and I'm a Red. I'm from Brooklyn, and I just want to say, no matter who you think won this debate, I think democracy lost tonight. Because from what I've seen, you know, there was a question about child care, right? And instead of Trump answering the question about child care, he was basically, oh yeah, Biden, he's the worst president. Did you know that? And then Biden's like, I got statistics. 156 historians said that, no, you're the worst president. And then there was the whole thing about golf, right? You know, I'm listening to these two people talk about handicaps. I'm like, are they the handicapped ones or something? And sorry about that. And then finally, there's just this whole thing about like, oh yeah, did Trump actually say, oh, veterans are losers and suckers? And then the whole thing just went on for like several minutes in the debate. And I'm just like, I think we, the American people, are the losers and suckers here for having to watch this farce of a debate. All right, because democracy, what I thought, it was supposed to be a marketplace of ideas. We were supposed to exchange ideas with each other, talk about what policies we want, talk about what we can do to make a better country together. And instead, we just have these two people who are supposed to lead us just bickering with each other.
If they don't, we must.
Right.
And you know what? We've got like 8 debates over the next couple of days that you all can prove something about that too. Yang, thanks for being here. Thank you for being here, and thank you for sharing all that with us. I want everybody to be thinking here too, and you don't have to answer this necessarily, but maybe this will start getting your mind thinking, what would you have done differently, or what would you have preferred either of these guys to have done differently? How could this have been a better debate? I'm also just curious, because like Jesse and I were up here kind of hectically trying to figure out speaker order and stuff. I didn't catch what was funny. And I would really like to be looped in on the jokes so that I can understand all the memes for the next couple days. So I would appreciate remarks on what people found funny and good and amusing in this too. There's somebody named Carl on the rafters. Is that right? Is there a Carl?
Yep.
Thank you, Carl.
Hey there, it's not Carl, it's Matt.
I sincerely apologize.
No, you're okay. Tonight, say what you will about the debate and the politics behind it and all that jazz. Watching several of these debates, I would say this is probably the most civil debate I've seen so far between these two. Okay?
Yeah, so why was that?
Right?
Why was that?
Small wins. Well, you can see for yourself. I mean, there was discourse between the two that was negative, obviously, but not a lot of yelling and overstepping and that sort of thing. So good, small wins, small wins. But tonight I'm representing our newly formed alliance, the North Carolina Triad Braver Angels Alliance, with my blue co-chair here. All right, and what we're doing here tonight on the national scale is we're setting a new model for debate and discourse, and we're telling the country that we don't want this extreme banter anymore. And we want to come together, right? We're bringing reds, blues, yellows, purples together, and we're doing this right here, right now. All right, so that's my comment for tonight.
Thanks for being here. Thanks for being here. And thanks for what you're doing in Carolina. And logistical staff, thank you for shedding light upon this inquiry. This is very, very helpful, and I will see more people. Hey, Gabby, I know you had mentioned something earlier about how you were feeling in the plenaries, and I'm wondering how you felt right after the plenary, and then how you felt right after this debate.
Hello. Oh,
Hi.
Well, I was just thinking about the contrast between how hopeful I was feeling during the plenaries and then this knot in my stomach I had during the debate. But the relief for me was in appreciating, like, that is not our salvation. Those two men are not saving our country. And it's just a reminder that we are the people that we've been waiting for. So that was actually my own personal relief, coming away from election after election where, like, our candidate's gonna turn this thing around. And now it's like, neither of these people are turning this ship around. So really, what a good testament to us all being here tonight. So thank you.
Well, thank you for that, and also thank you for helping us with the whipping here, Gabby. You've been great. Is Michelle? Michelle had an interesting comment about something. Michelle, yeah, stand up.
Hi. My name is Michelle from Los Angeles.
Great city, great city.
Yeah, this was interesting. I think we're in a politically transformative moment. I know my politics has transformed. It's why I came here, because I feel so disconnected from my friends. I've been blue most of my life now, obviously. One of the things tonight, I want to stick to policy because I think one of the things that can bring us together is I think we really do agree on a lot of things. And like abortion tonight, I never thought I would agree with what Trump did with Roe v. Wade. But I think he did put it back in the hands of the people and out of politics. I thought it was kind of extraordinary to see Ohio in the midterms vote for abortion. They finally had a say. All these working class people, I've seen Batya, I'm excited for your discussion, and your book, of course, is amazing. Second class. But it feels like I want to keep an open mind and an open heart with everything. I know what we just saw, and we deserve better. And I think everybody here knows that. And I hope that the next couple of days we strive to come together on policy and move forward with that.
Well, we've got a bunch of conversations and debates about that, including one which will be chaired by Madam Chair herself in 2 days from now, so we shall see where that goes. I just want to see a quick show of hands, because a couple of you all have mentioned this, and this is not about any subject in particular, this is about all subjects in general. Who here found their mind changed by something they saw in this debate? Their mind and their opinion on anything at all relating to politics? Who had your mind changed? Raise your hands high, raise your hands high. Okay, so that's actually a surprisingly large minority of you, which is good. Okay, if anybody who had your mind changed wants to share why, I would be really interested in calling on you on that, so feel free to share. But also, anybody who has a comment or a remark, please keep raising your hands. I want to get more in. Oh, hey, what's up? Sugar Bear.
I've been dying to see.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. Sugar Bear, come right up to the front. Come right up.
Yeah.
I apologize for my rudeness.
But you know, I was listening to it, and my first thought was, if both of those men were air traffic controllers, and 500 planes were about ready to run out of fuel. And they had to make a quick decision. Which one would you choose? The one that was having a hard time like my grandfather, or the one that was, saying all that, what I did. Would he be saying, oh, what I did, as every plane is crashing? Or would he be, and every plane is crashing? But I'm going to tell you up front, I'm a big Trump fan. I'm going to get that out of the way. And if I had went through what that man went through, you would see Sugar Bear highlights, News at 5, what he did. But with that, I was disappointed when the January 6th question came up. And I thought he would have an opportunity to let America know, yes, it was a travesty of what happened to our capital, and I tried to get troops in there, and no one listened. But I am looking for the future for America. It happened under my watch, as I should have left with a lot of dignity, but he didn't do it. But it doesn't change Sugar Bear's vote for him with that person, that other person that's next to him.
Well, but Sugar Bear, you just did something very much in the Braver Angel way. You said something about your own side in a way that was both honest and very good, and I appreciate you doing that in the way that only you can. So thank you for that. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, Sugar Bear. All right, let's go to some more speeches real quick. Oh, Molly. Hey, somebody get a microphone to Molly over here. Emily, do you mind? So there's a lot of I'm seeing a lot of familiar faces, and I also want to take comments from people I don't know as well too. But Molly, you go first here.
Hi, I'm Molly. I'm from Missouri and live in Boston. And I think I was thinking a lot about my nephews and nieces. I have 11 nieces and nephews, and I'm also a future mom as well. And I will just say that I think what most disappointed me in the entire night was that a lot of my nieces and nephews who are 10 to 21 years old are more mature than our future candidates, or than our two candidates for president. And I think what was funny, Luke, to answer your question earlier, is I think we start laughing instead of crying. And I think that I found a lot of the debate very depressing. I'm a blue. I wrote down every insult Biden said. I thought it was incredibly immature. And if I had been a moderator, what I would have done differently is said at the beginning, the moment you insult each other, you're insulting the way that Americans want democracy to function. And the moment we hear an insult, we're going to cut off your mic and shorten your time. And every time I heard an insult, I would have cut off their mic. And I will just say that those two men, we would have had to hear a lot less from that, and they would have quickly learned that they were going to be silenced for demonstrating that kind of behavior to an American public. I don't think they're role models for any children in America, and certainly any adults. And I would say that as far as just one other basic point is these folks do not know how to answer a question. That is another number two complaint, is they almost never answered a question. And on the number one topic one of my number one topics is the economy. And as a small business owner, that affects me a lot right now. And I will just say that they had one question about it, and I don't know if I heard a single policy statement about it. And that is true for most of the questions entirely.
Keep that in mind. And when we go to our Braver Angels debates over the next couple of days, make sure to answer questions as best you can. And by the way, I don't know, this is something these guys could have probably learned. I don't know is a perfectly acceptable answer for any question you're ever asked. Here's the gentleman in the blazer over here. Emily, can you give it to him?
My name is Hans Arthur Peterson, and as a man who's been homeless since the first Obama administration and a recipient of a $600 scholarship and a $400 plane ticket home, I just want to say praise God and thank you for your hospitality. This has been like Disneyland. But the two issues that are most precious to me as a Christian and a Republican were not even addressed, really. I'm devastated what cultural Marxism has done, especially to the poor, how intersectionality has brought in a huge spirit of victimhood to this country. It was not even addressed.
Would you mind talking about the debate, though? and
Sure.
so much on the debate? Thank you.
And I was very disappointed in Trump that on the energy issue, he didn't mention Coonan's book, who was the Undersecretary of Energy for President Obama, who says the existential crisis is not global warming. The existential crisis is going off oil. And if you want to read the book, it's What Climate Science Tells Us, What It Doesn't, and Why It Matters.
That's interesting. Hey, thank you for that. And thank you for being here with us in Braver Angels. There's somebody named Helena who has a point that my whips tell me is an important one. Can one of you all get to Helena? Helena, where are you?
Hi.
Thank you.
I'm Helena. I'm from Virginia. Something that really worried me and just was really like saddening was just the constant overgeneralizations and just kind of like misconceptions. And for me, like just immigration is one of those issues that I was hoping to get, some more like clarity on about the candidates' stances. And instead, I just got, they're coming across and they're stealing jobs, and that's not true. Or the countries are sending people from asylums and hospitals, or they're bringing all the drugs. And actually, it was like in the last couple of years, by far the majority of they talked about fentanyl trafficking. That's mostly done by Americans. We can't blame, we literally can't blame just immigrants from other countries. And I just I think it's just hard because these are people in the limelight, and I think their on the ground perspective is limited. But we are normal citizens, and we're on the ground, and we can see people, and we can see how they treat one another. And I lived for a year and a half in Vegas as a volunteer, and I taught English and taught about God to a lot of immigrants, and I spoke Spanish. And so many of them are here to get good jobs, to work hard, not to steal, to help their families, and they're amazing people. And so it just really hurt my heart to hear such terrible things.
We need your voice in multiple of the Braver Angels events for the rest of this evening, or for the rest of this weekend. Thank you for being here. Hey, everybody, a very quick note. I can hear some of our commentary starting to go deeper into policy stuff, which is good, by the way. I love policy. Policy is great. Policy is fun. However, we need to keep this a little bit closer to the debate, our feelings about the debate and our feelings and worries about America in general. So please keep your comments more on those than on issues themselves, if that makes sense. Right over here, Linda, is that you? Somebody bring a microphone over to Linda Beck, Linda Bidlack, one of the real OGs, as we call them here in Braver Angels.
Thank you. I noticed a lot of red spoke in a row. Just noticing.
I honestly am just calling on the names that I see.
I understand.
So, yeah.
I want to say that appeared to be 90% name calling. It was my perspective that Trump was the instigator of that more often, and it pulled the whole tone down to defensiveness back and accusation. I would really like to hear Trump be held accountable to say what he would do instead, instead of pointing at the other guy, what you're doing is a disaster.
Thank you for that. And by the way, my barber told me a couple weeks ago when I told him about this event that the question that people should be asking here is, what would you have done differently? What should you have done differently? And you're asking that question, and I appreciate that. Everybody be thinking on that. Oh, there's a lady in the blue jacket here in the back. Elizabeth, can you bring her the microphone, please? Or somebody bring her a microphone. Okay, ma'am, hold your thought. We'll go to you right after this. Is there another question while we get the microphone to you? This lady up in the front, is there a Let us go to our friend over here. And then we'll get back to you in just a minute, ma'am.
Hey, yes, I just wanted to say, Clown Show, biggest loser, we the people. Second biggest loser is CNN, because this could have been better if they had included RFK Jr., just saying. So, one, they changed the rules, so they made it to where instead of polling 15% in one poll, it was 4 polls, which would exclude any third-party candidate from that. And then they made it to where instead of just qualifying for 270 electoral votes, it was confirmed, which many states aren't even in the confirming process. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is in my state in South Carolina via party nomination, but we also have him on the ballot in November through petition. However, confirmation in counties isn't due until like mid-July. So anyways, unfair metrics, unfair debate, excluding a perfectly great candidate. Vote RFK Jr.
There's a third-party debate happening on Saturday, so you should speak in that. Okay, our friend in the back, ma'am. Hi, can someone turn her mic on, please?
Hi, I'm Stephanie from Laguna Beach, California. And I would just like to say, I don't know why either of the candidates ever talk about how they're going to reunite us in some way. No one ever talks about how they're going to make all of our discourse better. And then the other thing, I guess that's our job. And then the other thing I would like to say is that I think it would be a really great exercise to do fact-checking on everything that was said tonight.
As a Braver Angels debate chair, I will be the first to concede that I don't know any of the facts myself, so I myself cannot rule on it. Apologize there. Maybe CNN might bring that in. Let's keep going to more hands. Keep going to more hands. The gentleman right up front here. Emily, can you bring it to him, please? Yep, and we're going to go, I think, till 10:15 or so. I'm going to try to get as many people in as I can. Sir, up to you.
I want to start by saying I did not see anyone on that debate stage that I would want to have as my next president. That said, we know one of them is going to be. What we saw tonight, I thought, was two high school bullies arguing with each other in the playground. And I also would love to see the fact checkers once they come.
We shall see when this goes. More hands, and be curious to hearing some more voices. Oh, this lady with the red, white, and blue cat ears?
I don't know what they're called, actually.
They look great. I'm going to think of them as cat ears right now. Mrs. Cat Ears, how are you?
Can I make an announcement? Fine. I'm Daphne. I'm a new state coordinator for Massachusetts. I had to say that, for Massachusetts. One of the things that I and my wife have been concerned about, and this runs against the Braver Angels stuff, is the people who are supporting the other one and how they're going to react, and are they the problem? Mm-hmm. And what I saw tonight, watching all of us watch together and watching this group temperature go down and sorrow, and that we all shared in it, maybe for different reasons, but we're all the people here voting for whomever, and that gives me hope that we could do that together and share that together.
What do you mean this is not in the Braver Angels thing? This is the Braver Angels way.
Oh.
Thank you for that.
Wait, hang on. We have an announcement.
Yes, we have a quick announcement.
Will Jim Carpenter, if you are in this room, please meet Mark Metzger in the vestibule for a Lost and Found. Thank you.
On that note, Jesse, what did you think about this debate? What's your reaction? Any feeling?
I was surprised. I agree that it was more civil than I expected, but maybe that was just the feeling of being in this room with everyone and just feeling all of your feelings. The laughter surprised me, but we were hoping that maybe we would get some positive feelings, so we'll take that. Yeah, that's what I take away. I'm enjoying hearing all of your comments, and the people who changed your mind, that's fascinating to me.
More hands, more comments. This lady over here, someone bring a microphone to her, please. Ma'am?
My name's Kathy. I'm a lifelong Republican. And 5 criteria, Trump won 3. Number 1, he won in presentation. Number 2, he beat Biden in the number of lies. Number 3, he beat Biden in the number of just not answering the question. It was a tie when it comes to age. And when it came to solutions, actual solutions, Biden won. And it makes me very sad that I will have to cast my ballot for somebody that I really don't want to, and that's Joe Biden.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you for that. Let's go to a couple more. I see a name here whose voice I have not heard in a long time, and I'm excited to hear what he has to say about this. Our friend, Greg, yeah.
Somewhat. Greg Smith, Waynesville, Ohio, 20 minutes north of South Lebanon, Ohio, in case you didn't know. So my take from this was, I think it's the first time in 4 years of Braver Angels, 4 conventions, that I'm almost speechless. But all I can say is I think Joe Biden could have done worse. I do believe that. I've seen him in worse conditions. And I think Donald Trump could have done better. And what I'd like to see as a resolve, first before I say that, I want to say, if you want to see how Braver Angels would handle something very near this, on your YouTube, you can go to CBS Good Morning, Guns, put that down, and you'll find that Don Daler, the reporter that covered us on an evening, we did a fishbowl exercise, and at the end of it, Don Daler, the reporter from CBS, who's worked also with Fox and I forget what other network, but he concluded that had we been in Congress that night, we'd have resolved problems with the gun issues. So I want to say that. Go watch it. I'd like to see a debate in Brave Angel style for these presidents. It's the only way.
Well, I gotta apologize to you, Greg. Chairing one of these debates is a little bit above my pay grade right now. So
I don't think so. I think you'd do it better. I'll nominate you as the red, and I'll take Darcy Crossman, who's not here. She can be the blue. How's that?
Let's talk sometime soon, Greg. Greg, I'm so glad you're here. Let's go to a couple of last questions before we rouse up. Oh, the secretary of the convention. Gabby, can you bring this over to Barry, please?
Hi, yeah. So while, like many of you, I was disappointed with the name calling, I think something that brought a question to my mind is that there is an attractiveness of Trump's showness that has called in a lot of the American population. And I wonder to what extent that is the anti-elitism that is feeding into that, and if we could kind of find like a middle ground rhetoric that could get that population back on board with us.
Maybe someone will come up with something over the next few days, but thank you for bringing that here. That's good. Oh, right back here, just pass it 2 rows back to Ms. Cataldi.
Thank you. I'm Rebecca. I'm a pro-life, blue-leaning independent from Arlington, Virginia. I was very frustrated and disheartened by a lot of what I heard up there, a lot of name-calling and kind of like kids throwing sand in the sandbox in each other's faces is what came to me. But listening to so many of us here, I feel like regardless of our political persuasions, a lot of us are saying the same thing, that we want and we deserve better. We want more civility. We want to actually hear solutions to the issues. And our country deserves better. And I mean, this is America. This is the country that produced Washington and Lincoln and Jefferson. And there's no reason we should have to settle for what we've been given. So I guess my comment that I'm thinking watching this debate is that I feel like we're not alone in this room. I think the vast majority of Americans wants to see better, and it's a smaller minority that really wants to feed off of the negativity and the name-calling showmanship. So how do we raise our voices as the sort of civil majority to say, no, this incivility is not acceptable? How do we become a constructively louder voice than the more extremist minority elements that feed off that conflict? So I don't know, I'd love to talk about that more during the convention. Maybe we need a March for Civility on Washington or something like that.
Well, I believe you can be one of the people who can help organize that from Arlington, Virginia, across the bridge. I think that's a good segue into the final question we have this evening for everybody here, and I'll be curious to hear responses. What will you take away from tonight's event to build a better America? What will you take away from tonight's event to build a better America? And I would like to see a couple of hands raised, and we'll go to some. Bishop Beckwith. Gabby, can you bring it to him, please?
Hi, I'm Mark Beckwith, a Blue from New Hampshire, and I didn't want to come tonight because I thought it would be a battle of egos. And it was. And when egos battle, the ego is interested in resisting change, averse to risk, and wants to win. And when egos battle, it kindles our egos as well. And I didn't want that to happen, but it did, and it does. But hearing this conversation from people, we want to go to a deeper place. And I would say we want to go to the soul, where imagination is launched, where creativity comes from, and where love is born. And it seems that Braver Angels is that entity more than any other that I know of that has the capacity to move us from the ego to the soul. Biden and Trump were both set up to be in an ego battle. Our culture does that. We have the capacity, we have the passion, and we have the ability to make changes in that.
Thank you for being here. I'm wondering, I know an old friend and a founder of Braver Angels is here, Bill Doherty. And Bill, I'm wondering, you don't have to answer this if you don't want to. Is there anything that you would take away from this event? Say that again?
Great.
Oh.
I think what Mark said was a beautiful ending.
It is a beautiful ending, but I have to take at least a couple really quick ones, because I trust that the ending will remain beautiful as we go through. Let's just take a couple last quick ones, because I want to give other people the chance to respond. This gentleman over on the left here.
Hi, Bruce from Pennsylvania. I think the cooperation entrepreneurs in this room just need to throw a better party than that. That's it. We just need to do it. It's so much better. More of this, less of that. Amplify it. That's it.
Thank you for being here. We'll take one last one. What can you take from this event to build a better America?
Up there.
Yep, I see you. Bring it over there. Thank you, Ian.
Hi, I'm Lucas Rice. I'm from South Texas. One problem I had with the debate is I felt like neither candidate.
We're going on to another question. What can you take from this event?
I'm gonna connect it to that one. A problem I felt like with the debate was neither candidate talked about their policies that they've gotten passed or things they've achieved as president, as much as they attacked one another or mentioned how hard they could swing a golf club. I think moving forward for this country, because we're not here, all of us are here for moving this country further rather than picking the candidate with the better rhetoric. I think that we should look at the candidates' former policies, their former achievements. One may be better at piloting a plane or trafficking a plane, but the question should be, which one has caused more plane crashes?
Thank you for that. I'm actually going to take one last response to this question. I'm going to ask Natalie LaRoche, who always has wise things to say about this. Natalie, what are you going to take away from this event to help build a better America?
I am going to take away that we need to spend our time well over the next few days and show America what the better way to debate is.
And on that note, and in a special respect to Mark Beckwith's note, we of the Braver Angels National Debates team and all of our fantastic whips and everyone in our national community to yours, and you are a part of ours, we wish you a happy good night. And we will see you for the rest of the Braver Angels National Convention. See you all on the debate floor. Good night, everybody.